I have not opened this box yet, so who knows what Dave likes to stick in these boxes before he sends them to me. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the rally giveaway bike is behind me. The crew and I tore this thing down a couple weekends ago, got it all cleaned up, so I just need to replace some little things here and there, and we should be good to go. But you see, I got a big box of parts here from Scooter Mercado. David was kind enough to sponsor this build, so I'm gonna go through that and make sure we have everything for it. Over here I have the motor. Again, this thing got torn down completely, all cleaned up. We're replacing the bearings, gaskets, seals, and just making sure everything's good to go before we give it away. But guys, if you noticed, we have a couple of new bikes in the shop. This is a Vespa PK50 HP. All right, this bike is actually from Germany. Guy owned it, said he's had it since he was 20. I think he was around 50 now. So yeah, he just said he had kids, he couldn't work on it anymore, so put it up for sale. So I went down and grabbed it. It's pretty much a big small frame Vespa. Cool thing about this guy is it has a 12-volt system and also has a electric start. But yeah, it's one of those deals that I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. And over here I found another Rally 200. This one is actually in really good shape. Guy down in South Carolina found it at a yard sale. Of course, he paid pennies for it and sold it to me for a bunch of money, but you know, it was a reasonable deal, so I went and got it. This guy is actually almost all original. Of course, it's a US spec bike, so it had turn signals. Previous owner removed those, so I don't know where those are. So I may have to figure out how to fill these holes and put a little paint on there to blend it a little bit. Also on the back, the tractor tail light is missing, and also the original turn signals are missing. So again, more filling holes and blending paint. But I'll get to this guy when I get to this guy. Of course, we have our small frame over here we need to get back to as well. So yeah, guys, shop is busy. Let's get to it. All right, as you can see, I've started taking the front end apart. I actually had to take the fork out and re-lube the bearing race in here because it was making all kinds of crazy noises from no lube being there. Same with the top one here. And for those of you guys that don't know, you can pull enough the headset out to take this nut off without removing all the cables and wiring and all that, but it's a good idea to disconnect it from this side. That way you don't pinch anything or pull anything out of the little plugs here or whatever. So now that I have the headset off, I'm gonna go ahead and replace this gold trim. It's not really gold, but this one's gold from sitting outside for a long time, I guess. So yeah, first thing you need to do is, like I did, drill out the two rivets here on the bike shield trim, that side and that side. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the glove box as well, and that way I can pry this trim off, and also it'll make room for me to reinstall the new one. All right, got the glove box removed, and yeah, this bike seems to be in okay condition. This is what happens when you leave tools in the glove box. You bounce around and just scratch the hell out of the inside of here, but you know, it's nothing we can do. That's just what the glove box for, I guess. But I have the original trim removed. I have new trim here. Okay, it's right here. So the way to install this is actually very tricky. You need to kind of slide this trim on to one side and then work the trim all the way around here to the other side. You simply can't just snap it on. It does not bend that way. So I've only done this once or twice, and each time it took me a long time. So I'll just do it, and hopefully you can follow along. So I've got the new trim installed. As you saw, I started by sliding this side down first, And of course it helps for me to have the headset removed. That way I was able to move this around and get this onto the leg shield up here. And after that, it's literally just trying to massage the entire rest of the way all the way down without breaking it. All right, because this is not plastic. It's like plastic with a metal inside it. So it's really difficult to work on, especially if you've never done it before. But yeah, you just have to follow along. Start at one side and work your way all the way around, and then that's pretty much it. So I decided not to trim the excess right here. I just moved it over a little bit by massaging it a little bit. So right now the excess is about the same on both sides. That's good to go. So next up, I was going to install the center stand. The original center stand that came on the bike was bent, and I just noticed that the previous owner decided to drill some extra holes in here. I don't know why. It's really annoying that people do stuff like that, but I can weld it to fill the holes, but I really don't want to destroy the paint around this area here. So I came up with another solution. I'm going to be putting on a new center stand, and I'm going to add these passenger foot pegs to cover up the nasty looking holes. Of course, I went ahead and sprayed some primer down to make sure nothing's going to rust. So yeah, that's what I came up with to make it the bike look a little more presentable. So I think it'll work out. So yeah, I'm going to throw the center stand on. On the PX bikes and the Stellas, it comes with 2 center stand springs. I couldn't find these quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and do just a single spring like you see on like a P200. The frame has the provisions for those clips or whatever. So yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up. The spring situation is a little different from your regular P series bike. All right, so let me go ahead and throw everything together. Alright, have the center stand completely installed. Brand new hardware, new spring. It seems to retract pretty good. I also have this nice free accessory that we threw in here. Passenger foot pegs. So, yeah, it's pretty neat actually. Cool, now it's time to go and rebuild the motor. Okay, so now we're on to the motor. This is the fly side case half. Okay, the only major thing I noticed was that the fly side bearing here, see how it's all chewed up? It's also cracked right there. So I'm guessing it did run before, but how much longer is questionable. But as you can see, this fly side bearing is tore up, and I think because of that, the crank itself got a little tore up as well. And luckily, not too much of the inside of the case, just a little bit of surface right there. Okay, I believe that part is okay because the seal, I believe, seals on the outlet or lip, which is perfectly fine. But since the crank is a little boogered, as you can see here, I'm gonna have to replace it. It might be okay, but I don't really want to chance it. The bikes that I build, I make sure they're 100% before they leave here. So this bike is no different. But like I said, this crank is a little boogered. I don't know what the hell he used to install this thing. Probably a hammer and a chisel or something, but some people just shouldn't be touching these things. So I have a brand new Piaggio crank right here. I'm gonna replace it with, along with a new fly side bearing. To keep the cylinder looks pretty good. But other than that, this should be pretty straightforward. All right, so let's get to reassembling this motor. Okay, so I'm on the other end of the motor, and on the PX bikes, I just learned this. The rear hub bearing is different, okay? So you have your seal that goes in first, okay? It goes this way, and you actually install that from the inside, all right? Because this bearing here will install first on this side, and then of course there's a snap ring that holds that in place, and a dust cap, okay? Once the bearing is in place, you flip the case around, and you drop the seal in that opening there, and I guess you can tap it into place. All right, so I had to figure it out how to remove this seal when I took the motor apart, and it wasn't until I pulled this little dust cap off until I saw the snap ring that held that bearing in place. So I removed this stuff and I just pressed everything out from the inside out. All right, so yeah, figured I'd show you guys because this is something I haven't seen before. So yeah, if you guys run into this, you know what to do. Alright, so I have the rear hub bearing and seal combination all installed in there. That was a little bit of a pain. I actually had to remove the cush drive to install that seal properly. But it's in there now, so it's good to go. Next thing I'm going to do is prepare the crank. I'm going to be installing the inner race of the flat side bearing. And after that, we can install it in the case. Alright, I have the outer race of the fly side bearing installed on this case half. And I have the inner race of the fly side bearing installed on the crank. Okay, I did leave a 1mm spacer down here. In case I ever need to remove that, I can use the tool. Okay, so now we're just go ahead and install the crank in the case. Okay, so I have the transmission here. So these newer transmissions are called the EFL transmission, I believe. So if you were to upgrade anything on these things, make sure you get parts for the EFL transmission. Okay, they're different from the P200s. All right, so I'm simply going to be replacing the shifter cross that's inside it. So let me do that real quick, and then we can put it back into the case. Okay, I have the engine pretty much fully assembled as far as this case half. I'm going to go ahead and join the two case halves now. Now on this case half, I went ahead and replaced the O-ring that's in there. I also replaced the two rubber stops that are here and here. So yeah, this guy's ready to go back on. Alright, so I have the case all bolted back together. Everything still functions pretty good. Crank still moves pretty smoothly. So next up, I'll go ahead and install the piston and the cylinder. Of course, again, I'm going to be using Yamaha 4 on both sides of the base gasket. And then we'll get it all torqued down and it should be good. Alright, I got the cylinder all put back together, all bolted down, torqued down. It's good to go. I also went in and threw on the rear brake parts, and I also placed a clutch in the case as well. So I wanted to talk about the Cosa mounting nut. Again, something that's up for debate, I guess. There's different ways of mounting this thing, and I'll show you the three. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of these. It's literally just to hold the clutch onto the crank. So apparently this is the Cosa nut. See how it's pinched on the end there? You're supposed to use that with a wavy washer. Okay, and there's this other nut here. You're supposed to use that with this little star locking washer. And of course the original P200 version, which is this locking washer, and then the nut. You bend the little tabs in the little grooves on that nut, and that's how you lock it in place. Like I said, I don't think any which way of these is the wrong way. I really don't see how this would come off if you use any of them, but I have the Cosa version, so I'm going to use the Cosa version. Alright, I got my clutch holding tool there. I'm going to torque it down 40 Newton meters. Alright, good to go. Alright guys, I have the motor almost completely back together. I got the shifter bolted back on, of course the hub and the brake parts. Starter motor, clutch over. I went ahead and replaced the O-ring inside the shaft and had that bolted back on as well. So everything is pretty good on this motor. I went over here to mess with the carb box, which is this guy right here. I took the oil pump off and replaced the gasket underneath it, made sure all the parts worked, and made sure it's still injecting oil. But I noticed that the previous owner decided to, I don't know, cut this or modify this or whatever he tried to do with this. This is actually the oil injection tube. It goes there. I don't want any problems with the oil injection, so I need to order a new one of these. It's very annoying that these people try to modify these things when they don't know what the hell they're doing, but it is what it is. The other thing I need to go over is the stator plate. As you see, the wiring is here. I don't know why. Again, these wires are spliced. Something that really annoys me again. So I'm gonna take this to work. I'm gonna desolder all these wires. I'm gonna change all the wires out and make it all just one line instead of all spliced together like this. I'm also gonna change the terminals here, and I'll plug that back in so that everything is all looking like factory. Okay, but yeah guys, I've been on this thing all day and I am tired, but it is crunch time. Our rally is in about 2 weeks. So it's pretty close. I have the frame pretty much ready for the motor to be bolted back in. Once I get it back in, I'm going to change all the cables, which is easy stuff, and hopefully it fires right up. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for this part. I'm probably going to do one more video on this bike, and then that'll be it. But guys, if you've signed up for Chaos 4, I thank you, and I'll see you there in a few weeks. But so yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed these videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you all next time.